need the clicker. You're good. It's all good. So the last time we were together, we spent some time talking about this idea that you've been lied to. How many people remember that? And it's this idea that we, from generation to generation to generation, have been told we are less than, that we don't live up to, that we don't have the ability to actually stand fully in the alignment with our divinity. That's what we're talking about. And me personally, as I continue my own spiritual path, what's happening is there's something on my shoulder that keeps tapping me and tells me, hey, wake up, wake up, wake up. And what it means is that there's always more. And what I mean by that is this spiritual journey. So we all have these little things that we do, right, when it comes to our own spiritual journey. Some of us read the Bible. Some of us meditate. Some of us do affirmations. Some of us do all kinds of fun stuff. Because after all, this is a playground, right? And so we do all of these things, and what's happening is the more that I connect with this thing called my divinity, this power, is what I'm noticing is it just always is saying, Mike, there's more. There's more. There's more expression. There's more depth. There's more stuff that you can do. So when this message came through that said it's time to wake up, it wasn't just this idea that we go completely from unconscious to conscious in one step. It's this awareness that the truth is that we can live with this understanding, that we are connected to our divinity every single moment of every single day, and within that there are endless possibilities. Endless. And we can have a lot of fun doing it. We really, really can. When we remember and understand that, hey, this is what's going on. This is my life. How can I interact with this amazing thing called my divinity with the consciousness of that, and then bring that out into the world? Again, walk out those doors, and now what do I do with this thing? What's the point? What am I doing all this stuff for? And really what it comes down to is just this idea, this understanding that, what a powerful experience we can have. What an amazing life we can have. What a difference we can make, not only in our own lives, but the lives of others within our community and then within the world. What an amazing difference we can make when we're able to connect with that. When we can get out of this victim mentality that tells us for whatever reason we can't do what we want to do because of, you list all the reasons why you can't do it. And just understand that those things are all self-imposed, because I promise you this. God or source or whatever you want to call it is sitting here acknowledging how powerful that you really are. And the only thing that changes that is our opinion that we're not. That's what changes it. And it impacts everything. It impacts everything. So I'm on a call the other day with a client, and it seemed like it was a really good phone call. We were on the call for about an hour and a half, and there was some amazing awarenesses, and there was really some great stuff that happened on this phone call, and I felt pretty good about it. And then later on in the day, we have a group call where I had a handful of clients on this call, and this client was on that call as well, seemed to be interacting, seemed to be engaged, seemed to be doing everything, and it was going really, really well. So I thought, right? So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling good about everything that's going on, and later in the afternoon, I get this email that says, I don't think this is the right program for me. I want to cancel. Right? And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, what's going on? And then all of a sudden, here's what starts to happen. And let me know if this ever happens to you guys, because maybe I'm the only one, right? But here's where my brain took me. My brain took me to what I do wrong. Why can't I ever figure this thing out? What was the problem? What did I screw up? Why am I not good enough? How am I going to pay? My God, what if they? How am I going to? If she can't, how am I going to pay my bills? Am I going to lose my job? Oh my God, I got to start looking for a job. Mike, why do you always screw this up? Why is it always this way? Why do you have to do this? How come? And da-da, 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 da-da. How many people out there have had the same experience? Good, I'm in the right place, right? We all do that. We all do that. And we wind up putting the stuff inside of our head, and it winds up taking us down this trail, this track, that winds up just drilling us right into the ground. And we sit there, and then it's kind of like, woe is me, why can't I ever figure this out? Right? That's kind of what we do. Until we don't. Until we don't. And that's when I started realizing after, I've got to be honest, I was there for a while. Okay, let's just get real here. I was there for a while, right? And I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, 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 tap the brakes, what's going on here? And I go through a process, and I'm going to share that process with you. But here's the thing that I really want to share with you guys, is just this understanding that at any moment, at any time, that we are always connected. And that gives us an amazing opportunity to do things much differently than we normally do. Much differently than we were taught by our parents, by their parents, by their parents. We can do it differently. We don't have to take the example of everybody else that we see in society, because there is another way. There is another way of doing things. But unless we actually stop and become conscious, which, in my opinion, you walk through those doors, you walk in this church, guess what we're here to do? Wake up. That's what we're doing. We're waking up, right? That's what we do. And so, what I wanted to spend some time on today was talking about that process. And specifically what it was that kicked me out of that fun little time I had was actually another one of your spiritual superpowers called letting go. Since January, I've been sharing things to put into your spiritual tool belt that you can use. These tools that you were given that we don't talk about unless you come here. But just so you know, letting go is one of your superpowers. It's one of your spiritual superpowers that you can use to make an incredible difference in your life. Letting go. So, question. Why do we let go? Ray, can you? So I'm asking you guys, I'm looking for answers. Why do we let go? Why do people do this? Anybody? Okay, there's Jim. Jim's raising his hand. Right behind you, Ray.
To get rid of your past or past issues.
Awesome. To get rid of your past. Very good. There's no wrong answer, guys. You can't screw this up.
So we get out of the rabbit hole we just put ourselves in.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Tony?
So we don't drive ourselves crazy.
So we don't drive ourselves crazy. Yeah, awesome. Any other thoughts? Any other ideas? Yeah.
Freedom.
Freedom. I love it. Somebody said peace. I love that too. Ellie?
To get out of the driver's seat and
Ah,
allow Spirit to get in the driver's seat.
yeah, I love that. Maureen was back in the corner, Ray.
To rid ourselves of our hurt and our pain.
To rid ourselves of our hurt and our pain. I love it. I love it. Maybe one more. That would be good.
I think letting go is about getting our ego out of the way so we can be open to what Spirit is guiding us to do.
Love that. Getting our ego out of the way. That's good, Ray. Thank you. We're good. Thank you. Yeah, so obviously there's a lot of different reasons we want to let go, and I didn't hear anything in there that sounded bad, did you? All sounded pretty good? I mean, if we were really to do it because of those reasons, wouldn't that be not too shabby? Yeah, and yet for some reason, I don't know why, myself included, at times I forget this is one of my superpowers, to let it go. To simply let go. I mean, think about, just feel that for a minute. Just, how does that make you feel? Relaxed, chilled out. Oh, okay, there we go. So there's a couple of quotes. Deepak says, in the process of letting go, you'll lose many things, but you will find yourself. If you found yourself, would that be pretty cool? Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I've never heard of this person, but she sounds cool. Daphne Klingman, holding on is believing there is only a past. Letting go is knowing there's a future. Isn't that cool? How fun is that? Eckhart Tolle, sometimes letting things go is an act of far greater power than defending or hanging on. Yeah. Yeah, again, really powerful stuff here. And just some other things about letting go that I've noticed in my observation. It's not giving up. It's actually just the opposite. And I think when I mentioned on the video that I put on Facebook and I said, you know, you can let go the right way and there's a wrong way to do it too. And I think one of the reasons letting go that we don't think about it very often is because people think that if they let go, then it's just giving up. And it is so not giving up. Not when you do it right. Not when you do it right. It's an act of literally inviting Spirit in. You're inviting Spirit into whatever it is that you're letting go. Could that ever be a bad idea, by the way? Ever? I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm trying to process something, I get stuck in my own mind. Has anybody here done that? Yeah, we all do, right? And yet, when we actually let it go, what we're doing is we're going and saying, hey, I'm part of this thing. I'm part of this thing called divine intelligence. And by letting it go, I'm going to open myself up to that so it could possibly shed some light on whatever it is that I'm trying to work through, process, figure it out, let go, heal, you name it. And that's what we're doing. Again, it allows us to have access to the divine. And I like this one too, because to me, when I do it and I do it right, it feels like I'm calling in the troops. Literally. It feels like I am stopping and I am just basically calling in the troops and saying, let's go get them, guys. And that's what it feels like. To me, it feels like there's this rush of energy that steps in, and it's kind of like Spirit is going, it's about time. We've been waiting for you. We were here all along just waiting for you to ask for some help, and you finally did it. And then all of a sudden, it feels from an energetic standpoint, it literally feels like Spirit's rushing in. But it can't do it until we actually let go. Actually let go. I'm going to share with you something from Catherine Ponder. Anybody ever read Catherine Ponder? Love me some Catherine Ponder. She's really cool. The act of release is one of the most effective ways to open your mind to receive. The act of release frees you from tightness, tension, or grasping. The act of release helps you become an open, receptive channel through which the intelligence of the universe can flow to you to cleanse your life of worn-out relationships and conditions to make way for your new, expanded good. The reason the release is such a priceless gift is this. The function of release is twofold. First, it eliminates any mistakes that we've made. It eliminates mistakes. Secondly, it expands your good. The elimination of something from your life is always an indication that something better is on its way. Wait a minute, so again, let me get this right. I let go of something, and then I say something better is on its way. I need to think about that one. Right? You need never be fearful of letting go. That which still belongs to you is never lost through the act of release. Instead, your expanded good is much freer to move into your life. People sometimes say, I'm afraid of the word release. How do I know that my mind or my subconscious mind will release the right thing? I guess that's a decent question. The act of, well, your subconscious has a way of releasing that which has bothered you the most, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. The act of release also calls into action your superconsciousness of Christ's mind, which is filled with universal intelligence. Your superconscious mind, your divine consciousness, is filled with universal intelligence. Would it not be a pretty good idea to have some universal intelligence when you're trying to figure stuff out? Yeah. Not a bad thought. Not a bad thought, right? So, what are we letting go of? People or situations from the past, the present, or the future? Any of those? Anybody have a few of those laying around? Yeah, one or two. Anger or resentment? Yeah, probably not a bad idea. This one I really like. Outcomes or expectations? Outcomes or expectations? Because what happens is, even when we're trying to do the right thing, right? And even though, like, for example, we've got goals and we have these things that we want to have in our lives, there's a point where it's really cool to set up goals and try and interact and try to be a co-creator with God, if you will, right? But there can become a fine line, and how many people have had this, where you grasp that thing so tight, I got to make this happen, I got to make it happen, anybody been there? Yeah, absolutely. So we let go of the outcomes and the expectations. It's just give ourselves a chance to breathe. Give spirit room to act. But when we're holding on like this, it has no ability to be able to do that. None. Because you've choked it out when you're doing that. So we let go of the outcomes and we let go of the expectations. And maybe an old habit that you're wanting to let go of. Maybe that's something to let go of too. Those are a few of the ones that I came up with. Anything else somebody can think of? Anything come to mind? Okay. Got it. So, here's a question. How can you tell if you've let it go? I always think this is fun, right? So how can you tell, well, am I doing this thing right or am I not doing it right? Here's how you can tell if you've let it go. Number one, you'll notice that when it comes to whatever's going on, you're relaxed. You're peaceful. And you accept whatever shows up. You're just like, yeah, got it. That's how you can tell if you've let it go. How do you tell if you haven't? Well, more than likely, it kind of looks the opposite of that, which means that it's going to be fear, panic in some cases, worry, resistance. Resistance. This thing comes up, whoa, this can't be happening. What do I got to do? Or struggle. So those are ways that you can look and see, well, am I doing this thing right, or how am I doing when it comes to these issues that are coming up? So how do we let go? I'm going to share with you some of my thoughts on how to do it, but I just thought it'd be kind of fun just to open it up for a minute and ask you guys how you let go. So, how do you guys let go? Forgive. Love that one. Anybody else? Jim? Close the door on it. Okay. There's no right or wrong, guys. Stay in the present. Like it? Yeah. Change your mind. Yeah, right?
Recognize that what you experienced was important and for your ultimate good.
Yeah, I love that. Recognize that what you experienced was important and ultimately for your highest good. Yeah. So kind of like life is always working out for us, kind of a thing. Yeah, even when it doesn't look like it. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah, Tony.
I tell my dog all about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at me in the face, and I go, okay.
Yeah. she lets her dog, she tells it to her dog, and then her dog licks her face. Lets her know that it's all good. And that's why the dog lovers in the crowd, that's why we love our dogs, right? Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to share with you the process that I use, but I just want you to understand something. To me, it's really just sitting down in a moment and just being real. It's being real with yourself and inviting in the divine to listen to what's going on. And just really being sincere and honest about it. That's really what it comes down to. So the steps that I came up with was, number one, become present. Somebody mentioned become present. Become present. Hey, this is what's going on. Hey, this is kind of what's going on right in this moment. Just get present. I'm here right now. This is what's happening. Engage. I always like this. Engage the divine. What? Yeah, prayer, meditation, being quiet, just going like, hey, for a minute, I got to remember who and what I am, so I'm going to just turn that thing on for a second. Hey, God, I'm here. Whatever it looks like for you. It's all different, right? We all have a different way of doing it. Then start to engage in a conversation and talk about what the situation is. So this is what's going on. And again, just understand there's no judgment, there's no right or wrong. It's just like, hey, this is what I'm seeing. This is what it feels like. This is what's going on. This is what's happening. And you're having like this interaction with God. Right? Acceptance. This is what's happened. We're not going to candy coat it. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to say, this is what's happening. So there's an acceptance. There's a part of this one, yep, this is really happening. Right here, right now, this is what's going on. Right? Express your feelings. I can't get over this enough. I've shared this with you guys before, but I'll say it again. You have the right to your feelings. Every single one of them. Don't let anybody ever tell you you don't have the right to your feelings. For some of us, it is critically important we're able to express ourselves. So express your feelings. How are you feeling about it? Do you feel happy? Do you feel sad? Are you upset? Are you disappointed? Are you discouraged? Are you in doubt? How do you feel? You got to kind of get that stuff moving, those emotions moving, because in some cases, the way that we heal is to let go of those emotions, and the only way that they're going to let go is if you feel them and let them out. It's really, really, really important that you do that. So express your feelings. And then maybe say something along the lines of this. Show me the reason. Show me the lesson. Show me the purpose. Show me the way, or a better way. That's what I'm looking for, God. Because if life is always working out for me, then I know whatever's showing up is there for a reason. Let me see what that's for. Because I'm not seeing it. I'm not understanding it. I can't feel it. Right? Then we let it go. Literally. And now I'm just going to let it go. Put it in your hands, God. I'm putting it in your hands. I'm really, really, really going to let this thing go. I'm really going to put it in your hands. I'm going to invite you into the situation. I'm going to let you do your magic. I'm going to let you do your job. But this is my job. My job is doing all of this stuff, or some version of it. It's not exact, guys. It's not. We all have our own little version of it. And then trust. What does that mean? Keep your hands off it. Right? Keep your hands off it. I'm out. I'm out. It's in God's hands. And just feel that for a minute. What does that feel like when you go, yeah, I'm going to keep my hands off it? Don't you just relax? Doesn't that just make you go, yeah, I just get to relax, right? And then, oh, by the way, you kind of ask God to kind of help you handle this thing. You might want to start paying attention and listening. Might not be a bad idea. Yeah. Because we are that powerful. And God does respond. And the universe responds. And it does it in an infinite number of ways. You can have a conversation with somebody in the hallway at work. You can be sitting there listening to the radio on your way home from work. You can be sitting there playing with your child, and all of a sudden a book opens up, and there's a silly little thing in there, but it's like, wow. There's no limits. in the way that the divine can communicate with you. Who knows? Maybe you have an incredible dream. Maybe you're in a meditation and all of a sudden you're off doing something and it helps you solve the problem. There's no limits. None. But you might just want to kind of pay attention. Might not be a bad thought or an idea. So here's some different thoughts or ideas for letting go that I think were pretty cool. In Catherine Ponder's book, she says that once a year she makes an elimination list. I thought that was pretty cool. So what does she do? She sits down and she makes a list of the things that she wants to let go of, and then she lets them go. So it's actually an elimination list. I think that's a pretty good idea. Make a forgiveness list. A couple weeks ago, I talked about forgiveness. Maybe we need to make a forgiveness list to let people go that we need to forgive, or situations that we need to forgive, or events that we need to forgive. Maybe that's what we need to do in order to let go. How many people have been a part of a burning bowl ceremony? Pretty much most of the people in here. For those of you that haven't, it's really pretty cool, and we don't have to just do them in a group, although a group is powerful. You can go get a little can and put it in your backyard and take little pieces of paper and throw all the paper in the can and light a match and poof. Something very powerful about that, very symbolic, very shamanic, very earthy, very real, right? You could also make it a part of your daily ritual. How many people have a daily ritual, prayer, meditation, and all that kind of stuff like that? Yeah, you could actually literally make it a part of your daily ritual. Not a bad thought. Not a bad thought, right? So, to kind of start wrapping things up, just a couple of little side notes about letting go, right? Understand that letting go is a skill set. Often, when I bring up these spiritual tools, what I'm talking about is them being an actual tool. It's a skill set that needs to be built. If you're not used to letting go because you haven't been taught how to do it, or you didn't realize how important it was, or for whatever reason it just never happened, just understand it takes time. There's no situation in your life that can't be let go. Nothing. I just want you to realize that. This isn't like, well, I got to wait for a big one because, God's only got so much bandwidth, and so I don't want to bother him. He's only got so much, so I'm going to make it a biggie, right? Yeah, not exactly. Literally, it's engaging. It's this dance that you're doing between yourself and your divinity, and there's this dance that's going on, and it can be magical. And this is one of the ways that you get to engage. So there's nothing too big or too small that you can't release and let go of. Nothing. Nothing. Just realize also, it's not always easy to do. How many people have ever had a hard time letting go? Yeah, I guess that makes you human. Yeah. It's not always easy to do it. And some things are just going to be a lot easier to do than others. Some things are going to let go. It's going to be really simple to do, and other things, not so much. You guys are amazing human beings. You're amazing spiritual beings. We have the ability, we have the right. I'm going to say that again. We have the right, because of our heritage, to do some pretty amazing things. Didn't Jesus say, this you will do in far greater, or something like that? Yeah, he did. And he wasn't kidding. But we kind of back away from that. We kind of think like, well, yeah, that was him though. That can't be me. And that is one of the biggest things that when we talk about waking up, this ability to engage in our divinity, this ability to stand in it and go, no, I'm really going to do this. I'm really going to make this a part of my daily routine. I'm really going to do what Jesus did, and that is every single day and every single moment, know that he's connected to his divinity and know what that meant. Which means in any moment, he has the ability to co-create with whatever he wants in his life. He can do anything he wanted to do. In that moment, he has the ability to do that when he's connected to his divinity. We all have the ability to do that. But for some reason, or several reasons, we made a decision somewhere along the line that says, no, we can't really do that. That's okay. right? That's part of the journey while we're down here, right? Don't you guys feel like when you're on your spiritual journey that it's kind of like you're kind of waking up and there's these little tings that happen throughout your day or throughout your week or throughout the month or throughout the year where it's like there's this little thing that's just tapping your soul that's going, hey, pay attention. We all do that. Every single one of us do that. And now it's just a matter of going, I got it. I'm going to start listening to that voice. I'm going to start listening to that thing, my inner guidance, my inner direction, and see where that takes me. I'm going to start waking up. And I'm going to show up in that moment, fully empowered, without any limitations, not full of fear, not full of intrepidation, nothing. Because I know as long as I got the troops behind me, I can handle anything. There's nothing I can't handle. Nothing. Because I know who and what I am. And I know who's behind me. And I know who I'm connected with. Nothing can separate you from that. Nothing. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget who and what you are. You are amazing, amazing, amazing beings. Beautiful. And I could not be happier to share this journey with you. Thanks. God bless.